Welcome back to the rest of the story. You guys missed out on all the fun today, but don't worry, I'm gonna let you in on everything we were doing. Dad and I just came back from the field. It's 7:20 at night. It's the end of the day. Dad just got back with the 4020 and the brush cutter, or the rotary cutter, however you want to call it, depends on where in the world you are. And he managed to find this, cutting out one of the waterways. This, for those of you that don't know, I've only seen it run once back when we had it. But this is an old, slinger chain out of the old side slinger manure spreader that we used to have. It's been in the ground or lost into Never Never Land forever. You can see that from the steel and everything. But it's just, I would hate to know how many tons of steel that have been lost across all of the ground we run over years and years of not even just us running it, because we found horse shoes, and a couple times we found a couple of those old steel well, you know, the old wooden wheels. We found the steel ring around them that holds the wheels together. The disc bind is currently well, it's still a work in progress. I fixed everything, replaced everything. If you guys were watching my Instagram the other day, I went through and put that new hub in, or bearing. I don't know what the technical term is for it anymore. I've called it like 4 or 5 different things. But I got everything timed. Everything runs. You don't hear anything ticking because it's hitting anymore. You can see in the back we got those nice shiny new green flails. We were missing a few of them. We replaced 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 5 hiding in there. Hit something fairly hard and stripped all the ones in the center off. That was a pre-existing issue. I noticed that the day that I went out and ended up breaking all that. But yeah, you don't really want to run that too much at all without having all those flails on there, because it throws that whole conditioner out of balance and it vibrates and you destroy stuff. And when it comes to machinery like this, vibration will wreck stuff fairly quick. The birds know I want to do a video because they're up in the rafters talking again. I'm going through, like I said, it's the end of the day. I forgot my light unit again. Sorry about that, guys. Draining the oil out of these gear cases. We got this upper one, this lower one. The upper one is kind of dull because I had to drop the oil down over top of this lower one. That's why there's oil all over the place. 76, while we're here, the O-rings and these SCVs. I think you guys have seen that in other videos. Maybe not in my channel. I think Wes just did one a while back. These O-rings in here blew out, and we got them replaced earlier. That can be a bit of a bear. I had to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different oil plugs out of these cases to make sure that I had everything drained out entirely. What they recommend you to do, what they tell you to do in big bold letters in the manual, is to run it, get everything nice and hot, and then go ahead and drop the oil out of it. I did 1, 2, and I also did the cutter bar. The drain plugs are down here. I have to go through and drop the oil out of this guy yet. I'm having some issues with it because the plug is on the inside and you have to go in from underneath, and it's a little square, like 1/4 inch. It's an 8mm drain plug, but there's not enough room in there for me to work. I don't have any sockets that are square that I can get in there and get to it. So my plan is, I doused it with a bunch of WD-40. I'm gonna let it sit overnight. Tomorrow morning, like I said, tonight, I actually have to run up to my friend's place and pick up the gear oil for that. The cutter bar uses hydraulic oil, or High Guard. And I'll go through, get this filled up, get that filled up. I may, depending on what the weather's gonna do, I'm really not too all that worried about rain. Because of the fact that they keep pulling it back on us, we could use a nice shot of rain, a nice soaker. Did you run out of fuel? He's alive. How does it feel to have someone walk in while you're filming? What is this like? I'm not as bad as you.
For me. I've never had this experience before.
I'm adaptable. I can keep talking. I don't have to shut the camera off and say, okay guys, what the hell?
No. No.
I am not
that is literally what I do.
That's what Ryan does. What? You walk away? Yeah. It's terrible being a celebrity. I can tell you this about everything we're doing on this disc spine. I was trying to get that drain plug out, the one that I haven't gotten out yet. If I was filming while I was doing that, this would be an R-rated video. So it's one of those things, the joys of being a mechanic. You stumble across things that shouldn't be an issue whatsoever, and it costs you about 2 hours worth of work. What I'm going to do, I'm going to, well, I doused it in WD. If I can go and cut hay tomorrow, the next day, whatever, because according to the weather forecast, we have at least 7 days of sunshine again. So the plan is, it might be 10 acres, but it's rough cutting acres. It's pasture and waterways. It's going to yield really well. And then the plan is, what I really should have done for these other two, but that'll be nice, steaming, hard to touch, well, probably difficult to touch, hot. And I'm hoping that'll help with pulling that drain plug out, because I've gotten on it. I can get the wrench on it and everything. There's not much room to work, but if you finesse it just right, you can put 2 wrenches on it and cheat that way. But I did manage to bust my knuckles a few times trying to get it out. So I figured I better quit while I'm ahead before I pull the torch out and get really drastic with it. Yeah, I ran this without running it. I ran this for about 15 minutes wide open. Really hums along great. And ideally, I think what they really would prefer you to do is to run it all day like you normally would, and then drop the oil out of it at the end of the day. I would have liked to done that, but call it what it is. It's service. This machine has been down for service for about 2 weeks now. A bunch went down that I worked on while I was on my little break from YouTube, and it's just, yeah, it's here. I'd rather just work on it and get it done. This doesn't do a whole lot of work for us anymore. It does maybe a quarter of the hay cutting that it did when we were milking cows. I'm okay with that for the time being. We need a lot more cattle around here. I want a lot more cattle around here. We all want more cattle around here. The disc spine will be called to duty again, and there is no plans in replacing it like ever right now. We could really keep this for another 10-15 years if we treat it well, as we do all of our machinery, even though we are hard on our equipment, by actually using the stuff. I mean, it would be nice, just to own all this equipment and then just leave it sit in the machine shed and say, yep, we're farming, but we just sit and leave it in the shed and we look at it. Let's be realistic. Yeah, we've had this is 10 years to my memory. This disc spine has been around. If we're careful with it, we maintain it and keep up on the regular maintenance schedule on it, another 10 years isn't out of the question. I like it. I have no desire to really change disc spines right now. I really like this machine. It's our first Hydra swing that we've had, and I'm really not in that big of a hurry to get away from it. It's been a really nice machine, really dependable. Really hasn't given us too much issues. The bearing that went out of it, that's the second or third time that's happened. And I caught it this last time here purely by chance. You guys saw that in the previous video. It just had a little bit of wobble in it, and after I took it off, yeah, there was a significant amount of wobble. I've had them before where they've pretty much welded themselves, and that wasn't on this disc spine, I gotta say. That was on the 936, where I had one go out on me, and I stopped, didn't realize it was out yet, because I couldn't hear it over the tractor, because we had the 4430 on at the time, I believe, and that thing howled. But I stopped at the end of a strip, and underneath the curtain it was all smoke, and I could just see the smoke was starting to come down underneath the cutter bar out the back. And I went out to investigate it after it quit running. I shut the PTO off, and I flipped that curtain up, and I got a face full of smoke and a very strong desire to get back to the buildings and hit it with water and cool it off. Because to me, I was pretty young yet. I mean, I was probably 13, 14 years old, and it did that. And first instinct is when something looks like it's on fire, you cool it off right away. So I don't know. I have some calves. They're not bottle calves, they're wean calves, and I'll probably show a video of them before too long. I want to do a video on the harvesters, the silo, the feed bunk that is going to be going away here very possibly yet this year. The small harvester that we use, that is corn. This large harvester, that is for forage. The cement silo, that is for forage. Both of the silos down at my place, those are for forage. Somebody is asking me to define the differences between a cement silo and a blue tube. I will do that. I tried to do that like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and then I just kept getting interrupted, like you guys just saw Ryan do, you know. Just inconsiderate. But no, I got a bunch of videos that I'm planning on trying to get done here. Just stay tuned, which you guys, I'm really confident you guys all will. I've not much need to even say that. So yes, hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I did. I'm enjoying my summer. I'm not really looking forward to harvest getting here. I'm looking forward to harvest once it gets here, but the next 2 months can take their time. They can go slow as far as I care. I'm liking the summer. I'm liking the weather. So until next time, it'll probably be what, Tuesday at this rate. So no video Monday. Take care, take it easy, keep in touch. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not great at responding to all the comments, but they are fun to read every once in a while, so keeps me entertained. Talk to you later.